Hello, everybody. Welcome to uh my Read and Revise live. I am Melvise, so I want to welcome all the storytellers and all the story lovers. So I'm an author and an editor and a ghostwriter, and I am here revising my novel live with you all. Just letting y'all see how raggedy it is and letting y'all see how I am going to transform it or how I am transforming it into a great piece of work. It is a women's fiction novel, and I'm going to read it and revise it in real time. And along the way, if you are a writer, stick around because you will pick up some great writing and editing tips. And if you're a reader, stick around and enjoy the ride. If you have any questions, put them in the comment. And if and when I see it, I will respond. I was told I need to slow down while I'm reading this book. But it's hard to slow down because one, it's a really good story. I enjoy it every single time I read it. That's number one. Number two, it's jacked up and I gotta fix it. So I gotta really like zone in and dissect every single sentence, every single paragraph, every single conversation, every single word so that I can perfect it and revise it, refine it, and make it worthy of being a New York Times bestseller when it's all done and complete and re-released as a revised edition. This chapter. So if you have been riding this journey with me, then you know what's going on in the story, right? If this is your first time or I'll just happen to pop up on your screen, you can go back on whatever platform you're seeing this on and see the previous chapters, right? But basically, um, this story takes place in Morgantown, and that's a fictitious town, Morgantown, USA. And the main characters are employed at a prestigious black-owned law firm, and their the whole premise, the main premise of the book is to show how staff should be appreciated. Okay. But of course, in addition to your work life, you have your private life. And so the characters, they have their private lives, and what happens in your private life affects, what happens at work, and what happens at work affects what happens at home. It's, if you are who you are. You gotta go to work. You gotta go home. You gotta deal with your boss. You gotta deal with your kids. You gotta deal with your coworkers. You gotta deal with your husband. Whoever you are, you just gotta deal with the people that are around you at the present moment. So this chapter is starts off. Prior to this chapter, there's a poem, Appreciation Overwhelmed. I want to read that poem, but um, if you recall a couple of chapters back, there was an office pool. Not an off. It wasn't an office pool. It was like a raffle, um, a drawing, where every year the law firm would award or pull a name. They would pull a name, and whoever's name they pulled, that person had the opportunity to pick three other people to go with them on a all paid, all inclusive vacation paid for by the law firm. And according to something one of the previous employees did, the stipulations are now that it has to be the employee has to pick 3 employees to go with them. Okay. And Naomi won the raffle. Naomi is the receptionist. And so this chapter basically, oh, you know what? I believe this chapter is actually the raffle takes place. I read it beforehand, so I felt like I read it. I read it already, but I didn't. So the raffle actually takes place in this chapter, and I believe they leave and go. Yeah, they go on the trip in this chapter too. So that's what's happening in this chapter. In this chapter, that hasn't happened yet. It's getting ready to happen right now. So that's what I'm reading right now. So stick around and enjoy. Okay. So appreciation overwhelmed. We strive to be the best that we can be simply because JK showers us with heartfelt generosity. Let me back that up for a second. Okay, so the name of the law firm is Jones, Evans and Knight. So if you know anything about the legal, professional legal world, the legal world, acronyms, everything is an acronym. Everything is an acronym. So normally, usually, uh, the inside, the worker is inside the law firm, and anybody else referring to the firm, refer to the firm by the initials of the firm. And so, whenever you hear me say JEK, that's the name of the law firm. Okay, so now I'm gonna back up and start the start the poem over. Appreciation overwhelmed. We strive to be the best that we can be simply because JK showers us with heartfelt generosity. They show us the respect we deserve each and every day. For this, we bow our heads and pray. Father God, we thank you for this blessed situation. We thank you for your comfortable work location, the open line of honest communication, the genuine play of true gratification. Holy Spirit, we thank you for our affordable benefits. We thank you for the simplicity of our environment, the presence of partners who show decency and common sense, the pay increase larger than enough to cover our personal expenses. Dear Lord, for others, we also pray you bless them with a workplace they can enjoy every day. Please use Jones, Evans, and Knight as a demonstration, an example of how to overwhelm support staff with appreciation. Yes, that is a poem, but I don't know if you peeped it out. There's also a prayer. So when we wrote the book, we made that poem a prayer so that everybody who reads the book would pray that prayer. Hidden prayer in the book. This is not a spiritual or religious or Christian fiction in no way, shape, or form. Okay, I thought about it. I was like, wow, is this classified as Christian fiction because the Lord is mentioned? But no, I mean, we all know if you have coworkers, you got that one coworker that is always praying, always mentioning God. Okay, so bottom line is, Cat Earl is a piece of work, and that's her boss. He's a partner at Jones, Evans and Knight, Earl Knight. And Cat is Catherine. Cat, that's what we call her. Cat is his secretary, and she has to deal with him. There's no way that you can deal with an attorney like Earl without having God on your side, because you either going to work for him and do a good job, or you going to kill him. And you're going to need God to stop you. Okay, I think I'm not supposed to say that word on a live stream. So you're going to need God to help you stop from harming that man every time you hear his voice. He come aggravating your nerves. And if you read or listen to the previous chapters, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll know exactly what Kat has to deal with between her boss and her husband and her children. Okay, okay. So we are on chapter 16. Chapter 16, Mandatory Morale, August 2005. Trisha burst into the ER and headed straight to the fridge for a beer. Then she slammed herself down on the chair beside Darlene. Okay, side note right there, the ER. If you want to know about the ER, go back and watch chapter 6, I believe it is. Yes, chapter 6, Escape and Relax. So the ER is a room in the office that was uh, decked out. Staff would have some place they could go to escape and relax. Basically, some place where they could go to be out of the purview of the lawyers, where they could go and attorney bash and just wind down and calm down and get themselves together so they could go back to their desk or their station or wherever they do at the firm and, you know, deal with it. Okay, and so there's food in there, there's a TV in there, there's a sofa in there, and there's a fridge in there, and in the fridge, in the fridge, there is beer and wine coolers. Okay, so that's what the ER is. Let me start again. Chapter 16, Mandatory Morale, August 2005. Trisha burst into the ER and headed straight to the fridge for a beer. Then she slammed herself down on the chair beside Darlene. You know, sometimes this shit gets on my nerves, she confessed. It seems like this year has been filled with stressful obstacles, just pure BS. I'm going to take out, she confessed. Okay. Yes, one of the issues with this book is that so overuse of character names, and most of the overuse in the characters' names occurs in dialogue. And a lot of times when there's just two people having a conversation, you don't even need to indicate who is talking necessarily, unless there's some type of action or something to go along with, some type of body movement or action expression or something to go along with, their words. Then you don't need to identify who's talking, because if it's just two people talking, this is that person. You go to the next paragraph, new quotation marks, new paragraph is the next person, and on and on and on, back and forth. So anyway, sometimes this shit gets on my nerves. It seems like this year has been filled with stressful obstacles, just pure BS. Darlene's eyebrows raised and eyes widened. What are you talking about? Some cop trying to make quota pulled me over for speeding on my way in this morning, and he gave me $110 ticket for expired tags. On top of that, a lot of little things have been happening all day, and it all adds up to one pain in the neck. Lorenz Jones. Ooh, what did he do? Says Darlene enthusiastically asked. I'm going to leave that. That idiot dropped his cell phone down a flight of stairs. He asked me to order a new phone and have his number changed. After pressing one for this, two for that, I was on hold for over 30 minutes. Then I finally got a customer service rep on the phone, and her accent was so thick I could barely understand what she was saying. If I transcribed the tape and emailed it to a client with a whole bunch of typos and misspelled words, I would get fired. How is it that the cell phone companies find it okay to hire reps who speak poor English? It's ridiculous. Says Trisha complained, but I'm going to take that out. Anyway, His line started ringing. So I asked the rep to hold on. Obviously, she didn't understand me any better than I understood her. What makes you say that? She hung up, says Fuss Trisha. I'm going to take that out. That's messed up, Darlene giggled. No, the messed up part is whoever called Lorenz hung up on me too. Someone has been calling. It says someone has been calling Lorenz and hanging up when I answer the phone damn near every Friday. Either you want to talk to him or you don't. No need to hang up on me. I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm going to say someone has been calling and hanging up. I'm going to take out his name there. We don't need his name twice. So, no, the messed up part is whoever called Lorenz hung up on me too. Someone has been calling and hanging up when I answer the phone damn near every day. Either you want to talk to him or you don't. No need to hang up on me. I don't give a shit. Who do you think it is? I don't know, but whoever it is, they're not smart enough to block their number before they call. It pops up on the caller ID every time. I'm almost tempted to call back. Ask him what the ask him what the problem is. Okay. Says ask them, like, you know how you say M, them, instead of them, you say M, but I'm not sure I want to do it like that. I'm just going to highlight it because I might change that. Ooh, yeah. No, that's not how she's saying it. Okay, I don't know, but whoever it is, they're not smart enough to block their number. I'm going to say, I don't know, but whoever it is, they are too dumb to block their number. Whoever it is, they're, I don't know, but whoever it is, their number isn't blocked. How about that? I don't know, but whoever it is, their number isn't blocked. Yeah, eliminate some of those words. I don't know, but whoever it is, their number isn't blocked. Yeah, I like that better. You don't gotta be so wordy. It pops up on the call ID every time. I'm almost tempted to call back and ask them what their problem is. I like that better. I'm almost tempted to call back and ask them what their problem is. Ooh, yeah. What's the number? Let's call her back, Darlene excitedly suggested while grabbing the cell phone out of Trisha's hand. Observing the perplexed look on Darlene's face when she opened it to find the screen cracked and full of water, Trisha snatched the phone back. Who said it's a woman? Darlene's expression quickly changed from perplexed to curious. Okay, I do not want to have perplexed there twice, so let's see. What's another word for perplexed? In my previous videos, I mentioned that, a writer's best friend is a dictionary, the dictionary app. And the dictionary app has a thesaurus. So if you ever need to find another way to say something, just pull up the thesaurus. Search the word and let's see what we can replace perplex with. Bewildered, puzzled. Okay, we'll say Darlene's expression quickly changed from puzzled to curious. That'll work. Instead of perplexed, puzzled. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Observing the perplexed look on Darlene's face when she opened it to find the screen cracked and full of water, Trisha snatched the phone back. Who said it's a woman? Darlene's expression quickly changed from puzzled to curious. Please, that dog, as much as he gets around, you know it's a woman. You're probably right. It says resolve, Trisha. I'm going to take that out. So come on, let's call her. For what? I'm not thinking about that woman. Shit, Lorenz ain't my man. I just figured we could have a little fun, that's all. Said Darlene. We're going to take that out. What's fun about it? That's for teenage girls and chicks on the side, and I'm not either one. I thought you said he dropped his phone. That looks like more than a drop phone to me. And why does he want his number changed? Says Darlene asks. We're going to take that out because we know that's Darlene asking. Why are you so concerned about it? I'm not concerned. I'm just being nosy. Damn, exclaimed Trisha. I can't believe you're admitting it. What's come over you, Darlene? Okay. I'm just going to say, I'm going to take out, exclaimed Trisha. I'm just going to say, damn, I can't believe you're admitting it. What's come over you, Darlene? Forget you, Trisha. It says Darlene rolled her eyes. I'm going to say she rolled her eyes. I was just wondering what was going on with Morgantown's Player of the Year. Who knows? Maybe he's come to the realization that it's time to slow down. Give up the player award and go for the real father, real man instead. You know, from player to husband to dad. Trisha pretended to weep. My baby boy is growing up. I can't imagine Lorenz being a father. He doesn't remind me of the type who wants kids. Well, I can't envision him with a wife. First, he has to give up the player's card. Look at that phone, insinuated Trisha. I'm gonna take that out too. We don't need that. Believe it or not, I think Lorenz is ready. He just needs to walk into it, as my father would say from the pulpit. True. I think that we mentioned, yeah, she mentioned before, Darlene is a PK. Can you believe that? Now, you know Darlene. Darlene is the office gossip queen. Okay. She's married, but she's cheating on her husband. Okay. Her mouth is dirty and she an alcoholic. Every time they go out, their signature drink, they love to drink iced tea from Long Island. They go have a tea party every time they go. She's always one up on everybody else. If everybody else is on their second drink, she on her third drink. Okay? She's just a total incomplete mess. But her daddy is a preacher. My goodness. Believe it or not, I think Lorenz is ready. He just needs to walk into it, as my father would say from the pulpit. Walk into it. That's part of his problem. He's walking into too many. He needs to slow his step down, exclaimed Trisha. I'm going to take that out. It's just the two of them talking here, so we don't got to identify every time whoever's speaking. He will. Every man does when they find that right someone. Look at Marcus. So Marcus is Darlene's husband. The sweetest man, perfect husband. But how many men does one man? How many men can one man be if one man could be many men? You'll understand what that means as we get further down in the story. Okay. He will. Every man does when they find the right someone. Look at Marcus. Taking her last sip of beer, Trisha looked at Darlene and said, "Keep hope alive." Trisha went back to her desk where she saw the email regarding JK's 444. Every year, JK had a drawing for a 4-day weekend trip for four. Yeah. It was part of the firm's initiative to keep office morale elevated. The name of a support staff member was pulled from a basket by Lorenz, Preston, or Earl. The winner was required to take three co-workers of his or her choice. The destination was a different location every year. Last year, it was a cruise to Mexico. Year before that, it was Jamaica. Rumor had it this year it was going to be Tahiti. At 4:30 that afternoon, when Preston sent an email announcing Naomi as the winner, Trisha, Kat, and Kim excitedly crowded around the front desk. I love the beach. Who are you going to take with you? Trisha enthusiastically asked and winked her eye at Naomi. I'm not sure if I'm going to go, said Naomi. I'm going to take out, said Naomi there, because we know Trisha was talking to Naomi. Say what? Girl, are you crazy? How could you turn down a prize like this? Kat asked. I don't know. I just don't want to go. That's all. The three of you can have the tickets. Wrong, Trisha declared. We are all going. That's right, insisted Kat. Now, see, this time there are four people standing there, so we have to identify who's talking so that the reader does not get lost. Okay, wrong, Trisha declared. We are all going. That's right, Kat insisted. This is a rare opportunity for me to get some time away from here without my kids, and I don't have to spend any money. I'll get Peaches to watch the kids, and I am going. Darlene walked up. Okay, so what did you do, and who did you do it to? I want to know. She addressed Naomi. I'm gonna take that. I'm not sure. Let's see. We want to make sure we know. Well, she's talking to Naomi. Hmm. I think instead of saying she addressed Naomi on the next line when Naomi responded, I'll say Naomi asked. Naomi. I'm not sure. All right. Darlene walked up. So, what did you do? Mm. I could say Darlene walked up to. Mm, you already know that at the front desk, so I don't need to say that either. Darlene walked up. So, what did you do and who did you do it to? I want to know. What are you talking about? Do what to who? Do whatever you did to win the 444. I've been working here for 6 years and I haven't won that raffle yet. You pop up out of nowhere and win just like that? Darlene resentfully snapped her fingers. That should tell you something, Naomi responded. Okay. So, Naomi does not like Darlene. Okay. She does not like Darlene. You can tell that she does not like Darlene by the standoff way that she, talks to her and looks at her and deals with her. One time they were in the ER and Darlene said something to Naomi and touched her, and Naomi was like, do not touch me. Okay, they just do not like each other. so, so Naomi just won this raffle, and here come Darlene with her mess. So what did you do and who you do it to? How you win? You just got here. I've been here for 6 years. You only been here for a few months. How you win the raffle? Like what was going on? Okay, let's go back. Let me just read it out. Okay, so Darlene walked up. So what did you do and who did you do it to? I want to know. What are you talking about? Do what to who? Do whatever you did to win the 444. I've been working here for 6 years and I haven't won the raffle yet. You pop up out of nowhere And when just like that, Darlene resentfully snapped her fingers. That should tell you something, Naomi responded. Pointing at Darlene, she said, bad karma. Pointed at herself, she said, good karma. Whatever, Darlene said, rolling her eyes. So, who's going with you? Anybody we know? A friend or a relative, perhaps? Says Darlene Pride, but we're going to take that out. We don't need that. We already know Darlene was talking. Why are you asking her that? You know it has to be a J&K employee after what you did, Trisha said. What did she do? Naomi asked. Kat won the 444 5 years ago. An all inclusive, all expense paid trip for four to St. Thomas. And when I say all inclusive, I mean all inclusive. First class seats on the plane, limo to and from, any and everywhere we wanted to go, elegant villas, spa treatments, tours, scuba diving, you name it. Kat took me, Darlene, and Darlene's friend, Cynthia. We had a ball. On the flight back, we found out that Darlene made Cynthia pay her airfare and a quarter of the hotel bill. You see what I'm talking about? Darlene is just wicked. Naomi rolled her eyes at Darlene. I'm taking Kat, Trisha, and Kim. Kim has to work, Darlene blabbed. How do you know? Kat asked. Need you ask? Motor mouth here. She would know if Kim's shit was green, Trisha said. She's right. I can't go, Kim explained. Preston has a very important case coming up. He's going to need me around. Okay. So we know that Kim is Preston's secretary, and we know they're talking about Kim. So when Kim speaks right here, we don't have to say Kim explained. We can just say she's right. I can't go. Preston has a very important case coming up. He's going to need me around. Now, who are you taking? Darlene fixed her eyes on Naomi. You don't have to take Darlene. Let's take Simpson's new secretary, Mina Pride, Trisha suggested. What? Darlene shouted. Stop being a bee. No, I'm taking Sammy. He's almost a girl, Naomi joked. Damn, Trisha and Kat chimed in unison. For real, Kim said. Sammy is not going either. There's a gay pride parade in New York that weekend. So who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Darlene asked again. Naomi sighed. Gee whiz, I guess it'll have to be you. You got lucky, Trisha told Darlene. Make sure you thank God for your blessings tonight because this is definitely his doing. The elevator bell rang, and to Darlene's delight, James stepped off. Okay, I'll just have to make a mental note right here. James. James is a mini minor character. He is a delivery guy. And when they were at the block party, Darlene saw James sitting over there and she went over there and she was over there flirting with him. And I mentioned him by name at that point, and I was trying to wonder, like, that was the first time he was mentioned. So should I have mentioned him by name? I guess what I need to do is go back to that chapter and identify him as the delivery guy. That's what I need to do. So just bear with me for a second while I make that note for that chapter. One thing for you writers out there, you got to make sure when you think about stuff that you Write it down, grab it, catch it, collect it, document it, whatever you want to call it. Just make sure you have a place to go back to see it again after you think about it. Because if you do not, a mental note is not going to work. A mental note is not going to work. A mental note is not going to stick. A mental note don't have any glue. A mental note will be with you for a minute, and then when you actually sit down to execute it, the glue is gone. Mental note does not work. You have to write it down. You have to write it down. Leave yourself a voice recording. Send yourself an email. Do whatever you got to do to capture the thought at the moment. Otherwise, it is gone, gone, gone. So, James is mentioned in chapter 11. They were having a block party. They were out there, and Darlene was being her normal self. And she got upset. she got upset when she saw Lorenz talking to Kim, and she was being rude to her husband. And then they had a basketball game that they have every year, and her husband was on one of the teams. And so when he went to go and get ready for the game, Trisha went over there and was talking to James. I'm just going to put a note here in front of this chapter to mention that James is the delivery guy. Because I don't know exactly what page it was on, but I know it was in this chapter. So I'm just going to stick that note right there. Let's go back to chapter 16 where we were at. Okay, so where were we? Let's do it right here. Naomi sighed. Gee whiz, I guess it'll have to be you. You got lucky, Trisha told Darlene. Make sure you thank God for your blessings tonight because this is definitely his doing. The elevator bell rang, and to Darlene's delight, James stepped off. Hey, James, long time no see. When are we going out for drinks? James pushed his delivery cart against the wall, walked over to the ladies, and leaned on the counter. We can go anytime you like, morning, noon, or night. Darlene got closer. I'll leave that up to you since you're buying. No problem. Have you missed me? Says James asked. I'm going to take that out because we know that's who she's talking to. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't, says Tease Darlene. Who's to say? I'm going to take out Tease Darlene. Very funny. Stop playing and give me a hug. Says remark James. I'm going to say James opened his arms. Pouting, Darlene looked at Naomi's expression and said, I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm a married woman. I'm not supposed to touch. Oh, really? I have to remember that, James said as he walked away. Yeah, so you know. Well, we know. Let's see. We already know that Darlene is having an affair, but we don't know who she's having an affair with. If you've been following along, who do you think she's having an affair with? You think James's pet? We know she's having an affair with somebody. Go back and listen to chapter 8. Chapter 8. And that's the first round knockout. That was the chapter when she got all dressed up. Okay, no. So chapter 8. Chapter 8. That was the chapter, the steamy chapter. Yeah, where she was at the hotel with a side piece, and he knocked her out. Not knocked her out. He knocked her out First round. Ooh, she woke up in a pool of common sweat. It was late and she had to rush home, and she got home and her husband was up waiting for her, and she told him some kind of crazy lie about having to work late, and he's like, yeah, but I called and you ain't answering. She was like, well, I wasn't even at my desk, I was sitting at Cat's desk, blah, blah, blah. Then she hurried up and changed the subject, and you know, left it at that. Then I think when they went upstairs, yeah, she just totally flipped the subject and changed the subject on him, and then it was like, okay, I'm tired. Come on, let's go to bed. That was in chapter 8. And then in chapter was it? And there was another chapter. Yeah, chapter 13. Chapter 13, her side piece stood her up. So she was waiting for him at the uh at the bar, the restaurant, wherever they were supposed to meet. He didn't show up, so she thought, oh, okay, maybe he went straight to the hotel. uh Maybe he forgot we were supposed to have dinner and drinks first before we got naked tonight. So she waited for them at the bar and then decided, okay, maybe thinking every man she seen might have been him. And then she's sitting there getting drunk, and she get drunk, and then she go to the hotel and he's not at the hotel. So then she's thinking, all right, ain't no way in the world he stood me up. He must be, in the hospital somewhere. He must have had an accident. So then she start calling all the hospitals, the local hospitals, to see if he's in the hospital. And then after she finally realized that he's not going to show up, she get upset, and she she went home, drove home drunk, got home, and her sick, crazy mind, her sick, twisted mind, okay, she decides that she was going to screw her husband as payback to her side piece for standing her up. And so after she get home, she screwed her husband pretty good. And in her mind, she's like, yeah, that was payback to her side piece for holding, what's the word I'm looking for, but standing her up. So anyway, I'll say all that to say, who do you think is her side piece? So where was I? James, where is he at? Okay, let's go back to here. Okay, Darlene got closer. I'll leave that up to you since you're buying. No problem. Have you missed me? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Who's to say? Very funny. Stop playing and give me a hug. James opened his arms. Pouting, Darlene looked at Naomi's expression and said, I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm a married woman. I'm not supposed to touch. Oh, really? I have to remember that, James said as he walked away. Don't hold back because of us, Trisha blurted, then turned to face Naomi. Like, if you want to hug up on a man and rub up on a man and to be having an affair with that man, that's on you. Shoot, don't let us stop you because we don't even care. That's basically Trisha. Don't hold back because of us, Trisha blurted, then turned to face Naomi. The ladies were interrupted by Preston and Lorenz. Congratulations, Naomi, Preston said. Yes, Lorenz agreed. Congratulations. I hope you have a wonderful trip. Thank you, Naomi responded with a warm, apprehensive, I'm sorry. No, that's the wrong word. Thank you, Naomi responded with a warm, appreciative smile. You are more than welcome. Lorenz and I are going to lunch. Says you are more than welcome. Preston smiled. Okay. I don't want to use smile there twice. So I do want him to smile, but we're going to have to use a different word for smile. Grin is not it. What's another word I could use instead of smile, y'all? Put it in the chat if you know. Okay. I don't like none of these choices. He didn't laugh. He didn't smirk. He darn sure didn't smirk. He didn't grin. Okay. I have to reword that some kind of way. Or maybe I could say, thank you. I don't know. I highlighted it. I'll fix it. I'll have to fix that when I get back to it again. You are more than welcome. Preston smiled. Lorenz and I are going to lunch. And I left a document on your chair, Lorenz informed Trisha as he boarded the elevator with his arm around Kat's waist. What do you know? Trisha's voice turning to Darlene. What do you know? That's how she's saying it. What do you know? Trisha's voice turning to Darlene. I guess you're right. About what? Says Darlene asked, but we're going to take that out. We know she's talking to Darlene. All Lorenz has to do is walk into it, Trisha responded as she walked away with a smirk on her face. Naomi and Kat turned to Darlene to see a surprised expression. Who knew? Darlene snapped. Okay, then there's a scene break right here. The girls were so excited about their trip, they did everything they could think of to pass the time, making sure that their attorneys had everything they needed. Making sure their attorneys, we could take that out right there. We don't need that. Making sure their attorneys had everything they needed. Trisha and Kat worked together to catch up on their filing, and time swiftly passed. And on Wednesday evening after work, Kat, Naomi, and Trisha went clothes shopping to purchase shorts, bathing suits, and tees for the trip. Woo, that is a super run-on sentence right there. Let's break that up. So the girls were so excited about their trip, they did everything they could think of to pass the time. Making sure their attorneys had everything they needed, Trisha and Kat worked together to catch up on their filing, and time swiftly passed. Okay, period. There we go. Let's start a new sentence. On Wednesday evening after work, Kat, Naomi, and Trisha went shopping. We don't have to say clothes shopping because it says what they purchased. It details all the clothes they purchased. So Kat, Naomi, and Trisha went shopping to purchase shorts, bathing suits, and tees for the trip. Even though she could not afford it, Kat had to purchase quite a bit of new things due to all of the weight she gained. She was extremely grateful that Darlene chose not to join them on their shopping spree, claiming not to need any new clothes. Kat was looking forward to having fun, and she did not want to constantly be reminded of her weight. We don't want to use weight there. So we're going to say did not want to constantly be reminded of her size. Let's say that. Thursday morning, the girls only had two things on their minds: to get together at the Cocoa Club that afternoon and the next 4 days in Tahiti. The partners closed the office at 5:30 and treated everyone to drinks. The girls met in front of Nikita Plaza on Friday morning, where they all parked their cars in the garage below the building and hopped into the limo. The excitement was so overwhelming they could not stop talking on the way to the airport. They could not stop talking. Um, hmm. I don't know. I think they cannot stop talking on their way to the airport instead of maybe their way. Hmm. When their plane, no, okay. When their plane landed around 4 o'clock, they were surrounded by tropical beauty. It was one view that took Naomi's breath away as she gazed upon the clear blue and green water. She was captivated. Ooh, my goodness. By its beauty. Look at that. Beauty there twice. I can just say she was captivated. Period. The valet escorted them into the Hilton Hotel Tahiti Resort and Spa, and they were in awe by the lobby. I'm going to take out the exact name of the resort. We do not want to mention any brands if we can avoid it. I'm not giving the Sheraton Hotel Tahiti Resort and Spa any free maybe I should leave it in there because my goal is to be a New York Times bestseller, right? So you think maybe if I leave that in there and then go to the Sheraton Hotel Tahiti Resort and Spa after my book makes the New York Times bestsellers list and do a video or something, then maybe I could get a comp or something. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to take it out. I don't want to mention any brands. It's just like before when I don't know, I think it was Darlene had cramps. I know what it was. Okay, so it was that night that that she got stood up when she bought a new dress. She had a new dress on and everything. She had bought a new dress, and her husband saw her and was like, "Wait a minute, where you going all dressed up like that? I thought you and the girls was just going to hang out, like a girls' night. You don't usually dress up like that for a girls' night." And she's like, "Oh, well, we decided we wanted to get dressy tonight, so that's why I wore this dress." And then she left, and then she called the girls and told them that she wasn't coming because she had cramps and that she was just going to take some Midol and lay down. And I decided to change that to pain medicine, pain medication, instead of mentioning the brand. You have to be very careful in your work. You cannot quote lyrics from songs, highly copyrighted material. Do not quote song lyrics. And if you're going to mention any type of place or any type of brand, make sure that there's no way in the world that that brand can ever come back to you and try to file some type of defamation lawsuit against you because they did not want their name associated with your content, especially if it's a trademark name. You know what I mean? There's just all type of legal stuff that you have to be mindful of, and it's easier to just call it pain medication than to name the brand of pain medication. Just like it's easier to just say the valet escorted them into the resort, into the hotel, or into the resort, one or the other, and they were in awe by the lobby. Yeah, see, that's another thing because this describes the lobby. And full disclosure, I have not been to the Sheraton Hotel Tahiti Resort and Spa, so I don't really know what it looks like inside. It's possible that perhaps we looked at some pictures and got this description, or maybe Mahaya has been there and she came up with this paragraph right here. I don't remember, but in any case, I'm not going to mention the brand name. So the valet escorted them into the hotel, and they were in awe by the lobby, beaming with glee in vibrant shades of red, gold, cream, and white. They were greeted by the hostess who checked them into two bedroom suites with all of the amenities. Each suite was furnished with the most beautiful rattan furnishings and a full view of the garden and lagoon. Aware that they were extremely tired from the trip and needed to get some rest, Naomi picked Kat as her roommate. They all unpacked and got some good rest. Ooh, okay. So let's say they all unpacked. Okay, aware that they were extremely tired from the trip and needed to, how about, hmm, wind down, relax, something like that. Naomi picked Kat as her roommate. They all unpacked and got some rest. That evening, the girls gathered for dinner and drinks. Okay, yeah, it mentions a restaurant name here. I'm pretty sure we probably looked up this resort and got the name of the restaurant at the resort, but I'm going to leave that out and just say that evening the girls gathered for dinner and drinks. Okay, I can say at the restaurant, or I could just leave it. They gathered for dinner and drinks. The seafood buffet was delicious. The frozen tropical drinks were smooth and strong, and the Tahitian dance was a very entertaining. Ooh, 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 ooh. Take that very out right there. That's one of them unnecessary words. No very. No worries. Okay, let me go back and read this sentence over. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm chopping this up really bad right here. The seafood buffet was delicious. The frozen tropical drinks were smooth and strong, and the Tahitian dance was entertaining. Was an entertaining peep into Tahitian culture. Oh, okay, that has to be a different way to say that. And the dance performance and the live dance. Yeah, let's do that. And the live dance performance was an entertaining peep into Tahitian culture. After dinner, they walked around to see what the resort had to offer. There was snorkeling, windsurfing, horseback riding, hiking, and whale watching. They signed up for everything. Well rested on Saturday morning, the girls headed out for a day of snorkeling and relaxing on the beach. Uh, okay. We mentioned snorkeling already, so we're just gonna say, well rested on Saturday morning, the girls headed out for a day of relaxation on the beach. By Saturday evening, they were out dining on a full course meal at another restaurant. They ran into JK's oldest client, Mojo Jackson, who walked up behind Trisha and tapped her on the shoulder. What are you doing here, Missy? Did Lorenz finish setting up my new grandbaby's trust fund before you decided to take a vacation? I don't want to tempt screwing up the paperwork for my estate. And hello to you too, Miss Jackson. Trisha smiled. You can rest assured that all of your paperwork was completed way before I got on the plane. Good. At least I know that I'm getting what I'm paying for. How's your It says comment in Mojo. I'm gonna take that out. How's your vacation going? You all. You all seen any fine young men yet? Mrs. Jackson, she's a cougar. Miss Jackson, didn't you just get remarried? You shouldn't be looking at young men. Kat said, there's nothing wrong with looking. Besides, how do you think I snagged my new husband? He's only 46. See, I told you, Darlene addressed Trisha. There's nothing wrong with looking. I never said there was anything wrong with looking. It's the touching you need to get a hold on. Said Trisha. I'm gonna take that out as we know Darlene was talking to Trisha. You're married, aren't you? Mojo asked Darlene. Yes, she responded in an aha tone. You're the reserved type with your husband, but I can tell you have a wild side. It's written all over your face. You better be careful before you lose that man. It won't be worth it, especially when you're busy chasing after something you can't have, Mojo urged, then excused herself from the table when her handsome young husband walked into the restaurant, making it clear that she was upset over Mojo's comments. Darlene's demeanor changed. I can't believe that old biddy said that to me. She doesn't know anything about me, says Darlene angrily exclaimed. I don't think I need to. We don't need that. Darlene's demeanor changed. I can't believe that old biddy said that to me. She doesn't know anything about me. On top of that, she's on her seventh marriage. She's got a lot of nerve. It's obvious that she can't keep a man. You may as well forget it. You know most old ladies have a theory for everything, Trisha said. And you begged to come along, so snap out of it. She snapped her fingers in front of Darlene's face. Says Trisha snapped her fingers. Okay. That's matter of fact, I could take out Trisha said and leave Trisha snapped her fingers. You may as well forget it. You know most old ladies have a theory for everything. And you begged to come along, so snap out of it. Trisha snapped her fingers in front of Darlene's face. Just let it go. Don't let it spoil our evening, Naomi remarked, returning her attention to the beautiful scenery. On that note, let's drink up, ladies, Kat said, raising her glass. Naomi interrupted. Excuse me. She stood up and rushed to the ladies' room. When she returned, Trisha leaned over and whispered, You all right? Yeah, my friend came early, that's all. Do you have a pad with you? No. Says no, responded Trisha. We're going to take that out. We know she's talking to Trisha. After asking Darlene and Kat also, Naomi stood up. I need to find some pads or tampons, and then I'm going to the room. I'll go with you. I said, I'll go with you, Naomi, but I'm going to take out Naomi. I'll go with you. I saw a little store on the corner of this building on our way here, Kat said. Thanks. I appreciate the company, responded Naomi. Thanks, responded Naomi. I'm taking that out. Thanks. I appreciate the company. After leaving the store, the girls went to their room, and Naomi did not want to walk back to the restaurant, so they decided to order hors d'oeuvres and a bottle of wine. Okay, so let's say after leaving the store, let's say the ladies went to their room instead of girls. After leaving the store, the ladies went to their room, and Naomi did not want to walk back to the restaurant, so they decided to order hors d'oeuvres and a bottle of wine. Girl, I'm sorry you're missing out on the fun, but these cramps are killing me. I didn't feel like, ooh, Okay. Yeah. It says I don't feel like walking back to that restaurant feeling the way I do. We don't even need that right there. We already said she didn't want to go back to the restaurant. My goodness, I'll tell you. When I'm finished with this book, it is going to be so much better. OMG. So after leaving the store, the ladies went to their room, and Naomi did not want to walk back to the restaurant, so they decided to order hors d'oeuvres and a bottle of wine. Girl, I'm sorry you're missing out on the fun, but these cramps are killing me. Trust me, Naomi, I'm not missing anything. Darlene and Trisha are looking for men, and I have one of those at home. When their order arrived, the girls started talking as if they were old friends, reminiscing about the same childhood. I remember once having to pick my mother up off the street in the middle of traffic, Kat said. Naomi began to laugh. That's nothing. My mother put me in the trash can outside of my grandmother's house. Damn, girl, who found you? Girl is here too many times. I'm gonna have to reword that other sentence. My grandmother came out and found me after she heard the dog barking. After she heard the dog barking. I often wonder how she knew that I was her daughter's baby, but I'm glad that she did. I understand, girl. I always felt like my mother was my child. She never did anything for me. Before the evening was over, Naomi told Kat, I feel as if I've known you all of my life. That night, she had a dream that she and Kat were standing in a field of purple flowers. It says like the one in the color purple, but I don't want to mention that either. So we're going to take that out. That night she had a dream that she and Kat, I can say that night she had a dream that they were, because we know it's just her and Kat. That night, okay, not even she had a dream. That night she dreamt. Yeah, eliminate some more words right there. That night she dreamt they were standing in a field of purple flowers, whispering to each other. She could clearly see them standing there. She could clearly see them standing there having a discussion with serious yet joyful expressions on their faces. Okay, not that. Let's say they were standing there. Okay, I don't even want to say that because that gives me standing twice. Hold on a second, y'all. This is the last sentence in this chapter, but let me see if I can fix it real quick before we go. That night, she dreamt they were. Okay, how about this? That night, she dreamt they were surrounded by a field of purple flowers. No, not surrounded. Mm-hmm. Okay. That night she dreamt they were standing in a field of purple flowers. They were having a discussion with serious yet joyful expressions on their faces, but Naomi could not hear one word. Says they were saying, but I'm going to take that out. But Naomi could not hear one word. Okay, that is the end of chapter 16. This chapter needs a lot of work. OMG. So, as I mentioned before, I paid a lot of money. I'm talking a lot of money for figures, for high figures, to have this book edited. And the company that I use to publish this original edition of this book use editors that were overseas. English was not their first language, and they did not edit the book properly. But at the time, I did not know then what I know now. But like, there is literally something that has to be corrected, changed, edited, reworded, taken out, deleted, added on every single page in this book. Every single page. And this book is 267 pages. And every single page, look at that, is marked up. It's marked up. Highlights and lines and notes. Whew. A hot mess. A hot mess. A very good story, but it's just not good enough. Ugh, my goodness. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're refining it, refining this great story. So that was chapter 16. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you're a reader, I hope you enjoyed it. If you are a writer, I hope that you picked up something that you can use and implement when you go back through your manuscript. And I will be back to read chapter 17. Chapter 17. Looks like it is Naomi. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I have a great publishing tip when I go through this chapter. Thank you for joining me.